jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back
Yeah, once again, you're tuned in to World Combat Sports, man. Big salute to everyone that's out there in the universe. You know what I'm saying? Because it can get tricky sometimes. Big shout out to the WCS supporters. Man, one love to you. It's always that. 100%. Thanks to the ones who tune in and support the channel and always showing up. My man, Dion Washington. You know what I'm saying? In the building. He stays on code. Look, he stays on code whenever he sees something up here with Canelo picture. It's the same thing. Shout out to my man Dion Washington on deck, man. He keep that shit all the way about the way he feel about Canelo Alvarez. So if you don't know, now you know. You're looking at and let me kind of, break down the subliminals, all right? So again, we have the opportunity to read all this news, man, all this media shit, all the freaking time, y'all. We had the opportunity to read all of it, and it was all lies. It's all deal with hocus pocus. Do you know what hocus pocus mean? Do y'all know what hocus pocus mean? I want y'all to start calling boxing media the hocus pocus of combat sports. Seriously, hocus pocus mean to design to draw attention away from and disguise what is actually happening. So all this time they pretending like Canelo was going to face Jermall Charlo. They sit up here and play it around and tease the YTC. Tease them about this fight potentially happening. And then all of a sudden, it's news that no one's seen coming. Like it wasn't something that was just for public knowledge. It was just all flooded with Canelo, Jermall Charlo. So Canelo, Alvarez, Jermall Charlo. And we up here thinking he's about to get his shot. We get to see in there with a huge test. It's a lot that we want to see. Especially stepping in there with the cash cow, right? I know it's not the cash cow Dion Washington, but I'm just saying he was having the opportunity to step on deck with the man, and it's not going to happen now. Why? Because it was all about hocus pocus. It was all about magic tricks, man, deceiving the boxing public. That's what it was about. They want us to be conditioned to this all the time, and it continues to play out, people. It continues to play out in front of our face. Check this out. So let me bring up, matter of fact, let me bring up the other one first. Mike Coppinger. This was a news article that broke. 2-fight deal from Herm is worth upward of $85 million, guaranteed per sources. Alvarez also mauled, all right, disregarded, whatever you want to call mauled, one fight, 45 million offer from PBC for Jermall Charlo. So he didn't want one fight, which is half of 85 million. Am I lying? He didn't want one fight with PBC for Jermall Charlo. He's still winning. You know what I'm saying? He mulled the idea from PBC for Jermall Charlo bout. And then he put something that could revisit Charlo if this deal falls apart at the 11th hour. Look, it has nothing to do with the deal falling out at the 11th hour. This is what they want. They want to appease Canelo Alvarez, or do they? You know, Canelo is pretty much walking around any way he feel like it, no mask on. You know what I'm saying? Maybe mask regulation somewhere, and he just walking there, and they don't, everybody else get hounded and harassed. Canelo just walks in there coughing. Oh, how you doing, Cinnamon? Come on in. Seem like you got a little dry cough going on there. We got some peppermint on the counter. Okay? We got some peppermint over there for you. They don't tell him to put on his mask. He's able to go in here and talk and do what he wants. My biggest question is, why does it all have to be a flat out lie? Why is boxing masquerading around here and putting out false information just so the media, the YouTube, I have to say YouTube because it seems like all the higher sources, they have a different community than what we have. They pretty much understands what's about to drop. But us, depending on who it is, they feels they have to drop shit immediately when they hear it. And a lot of times those bones, they're not real bones. They're plastic. They're just chewables. You know how you give your dog that little chewy bone? It's not a real bone. You know what I'm saying? It's just a chewy. It's not even digestible. They just give us the chewable bones and then, let us sit up here and slob all on that motherfucker, toss it all around before they actually come out with the real news. It's painstaking. I'm going to be honest with you. It's very painful. It's becoming to a point where I always speak of the dysfunctional relationship. When I heard Canelo Alvarez inking a 2-fight deal with the Zone, I just go back to the whole situation with him being in court. Per Boxing News 24, it says Canelo Alvarez is reportedly close to agreeing to a 2-fight deal with the Zone and Matchroom. Boxing promoter Eddie Hearn to face Dmitry Bivol on May 17th at light heavyweight and Gennady Golovkin in a trilogy. Pump the brakes. I know you was sitting back and you said, "Oh God," you know what I'm saying? Let me reread that last sentence and a half. The Zone and Matchroom boxing promoter Eddie Hearn to face Dmitry Bivol on May 17th at light heavyweight, and yes, you heard it, Gennady Golovkin in a trilogy match on September 17th. Canelo deal is still not done yet, but it's close. Are you not puzzled at how this can deflect so far off what we was initially believing that was going to happen? We thought it was going to be 168 pounds, but it's so far off. Like the opponent is nowhere close. And then this is the guy who went to court. He was in a $365 million deal for 11 fights. He went to court. Boom, that didn't work out for whoever he linked up to have that commitment to. He was able to get up out of that, go up here, the PBC, scoop up some money, a lot of money, then go right back to those people, the Zone and Matchroom. Why are they allowing this guy to go all around? That just goes to show you how desperate boxing is. For real. Look, it's not like they're draining the fuck out of Canelo Alvarez. Canelo is benefiting from this because he has extra motivation to step in there, lace up, split the ropes, and put in work to go in there and win. You know what that motivation is? His bank account. But my biggest question to you all are, is it just one person that's able to do this, to have this access in a sport that's been around for decades, people. This shit is unfreaking believable. Let's go over some box recs, man. Bivol is 19-0, 13 knockouts. They say will have an excellent chance of beating Canelo, getting his 2-fight deal with the zone off to a bad start. That's BS, because nobody's giving Bivol the chance to go in there and win. You know what I'm saying? His last 5 fights, if you look at his box rec, let me pull this up and just stick with me. Appreciate everybody. Let me take this down. And let me bleed over into my next freaking screenshot. It says sources Canelo and Eddie Hearns are closing in on a 2-fight deal. Fight 1 to be Demetrius Bivol on May 7, which I mentioned earlier, at light heavyweight. And then Gennady Golovkin at 168. Potentially. Andrew Charles on deck, man. What's good with you? Lou DeBella fucked up too. Yeah, he did. Mr. Pass on deck. Major Key Boxing on deck. He said, yo, that shit crazy. WCS is real crazy. Versus 2 more tailor-made opponents. Absolutely. I agree with you, Dion, on that. I agree with you on that. Real talk. Salute to everyone that's in the chat. Let me show you something about Dimitri Bivol. All right. I know this may be something that doesn't interest you, but check this out right quick. So this is Dimitri Bivol right here. Russia, 19 victories, 0 defeats, 11 coming by way of knockout. He contends in the light heavyweight division. His KO ratio is 57.89. 57.889. He currently holds the WBA title. You know? Look at his last 5 fights. They're all unanimous decision wins. You can go to the 6th fight. You know what I'm saying? So we really can't go into this fight with Canelo Alvarez thinking Dimitri Bivol is a threat to stop him. You know, he's been in there with the Joe Smiths, the Jean Pascal, the Isaac Chilemba. You want a G with a big boy? Hey. You know, I mean, so we're not really looking at something that's dangerous for Canelo. Well, I'm not saying Bivol's ragu, but I'm just putting it out there like, does he really have a chance to go in there and put a hurting on Canelo? I don't see it. And then of course, I have to bring up potentially his next opponent, which you got to call him the Zorro of boxing right now, man. He's just doing what the fuck he want to do, dog. You know I ain't lying. Canelo Alvarez, man, 57 victories, 1 defeat, 2 draws, 39 by way of knockout. He's claiming Mexico. Look at this right here. This is very interesting. He's 31 years old, people. So he really has several years left to go in here and continue to just ride in and out of town, you know, at his own accord. You know what I'm saying? On his own time clock. He's doing what the hell he want to do. Look at that. TKO, Caleb Plant, Billy Joe Saunders, RTD, Abney Yildirim, which is a shocker to me, RTD, Callum Smith, UD win, Sergey Kovalov at light heavyweight, stopped him in 11 off some Boogie Down Productions noodle stanky leg type shit. Daniel Jacobs, UD, Rocky Fielding, TKO. So, you know, Canelo is who he is, man. And then, of course, it's good that he can now say he don't want to fight too many Mexicans, because if you look at all this Mexican colors right here, that's what he did the first half. You know, when he was lining up his career, he was over in Mexico a lot. Look at all them. Look at that. He was over there building up that record until he started to say, okay, I'm content in the U.S., man. I'm content. I have confidence in myself. Anyway, let me get up out of here. Let me get up out of there. So that was Canelo Alvarez, man. My take is, I need to ask this question: like, what's wrong with Jermall Charlo right now instead of Gennady Golovkin? You cannot even tell me in any way, shape, or form that Triple G is still the ticket seller for the boxing audience to want to see a trilogy. It's no way in hell you can. This dude has been sitting around literally in his rocking chair doing nothing. He looked bad in his last fight. Now, I'm not saying the shit is signed, but just the point that he's sharing headlines. He's up here sharing headlines for a potential trilogy with Canelo Alvarez. He's sharing headlines as a potential trilogy against Canelo Alvarez if he beats Yoda Murata, whenever that shit is. Two fighters who have been just basically camping out at 160. Murata has been out for quite some time, over 2 years, I believe. See? And then we have Triple G. So they're still offering him, due to his inactivity, they still offering Triple G a shot to have a trilogy at super middleweight. How special is that, man? What's going on? Like, this is area 56, 7, 8, and whatever, man. What's going on that's so special about this setup? Why not just go in there and fight Jermall Charlo? I don't know what went on behind the scenes. I'm thinking that if he was going to get the bag. No, let me back that up. Let me pause for a second, because we know Canelo was going to get the bag. What was Charlo going to get? What was the split? You know what I'm saying? I have to back that up, because what was the split? Because, if I was to assume, I would think that Charlo would definitely try to get the bag just like Caleb Plant did. And we all know that PBC has issues going on right now and everything else. But I'm curious to know what was the holdup. Who was causing friction in the negotiation process, if it was even taking place? That's why I kind of sit back and observe when I see these thumbnails drop, and you see the people that's dropping news without actually knowing how is it going to play out in reality. And this Canelo shit versus Dimitri Bivol is just pretty much slapping us in the face again and say, I don't care what y'all want. I don't care what the consumer wants. We're going to do what the hell we want to do to benefit us. And we know right now Canelo Alvarez is the ticket seller. He can do no wrong. No problemo, amigo. ¿Te entiendes? Sí. He can do no wrong right now. So I can't say they leeching off Canelo, because he's getting a huge portion of the monetary value in the fight. I mean, he's making crazy money right now. Canelo's making crazy money. Shout out to my man Showtime News, Showtime Shaw News in the building. Sauce Talk. Man, y'all be damn sure to check out my man over there doing his thing. You know what I'm saying? Dropping hot content, man. Informative. You know what I'm saying? Changing the game. Be sure to check him out and subscribe to his channel, man. Be sure to drop your link on here at Showtime, so where they can follow you at. Say big ups to World Combat Sports for bringing that heat. I appreciate it, man. Real talk. Real soldiers on deck. Man, shout out to Trick Noty. Come on, man. I saw you over there on the treadmill, still stand on the grind, man. Stand on course, man. Shout out to Trick. I call him the boxing oracle. What up, WCS? Trick in the building. Yeah, man. Trick on deck, bro. Andrew said Yildirim's corner was doing some Oscar-worthy acting during the fight. His coach was yelling, I have to save you. I have to save you. Maybe from his perspective, it looked more intense. Oh my God, man. I just want to ask y'all something. When this is what I want y'all to do next time you hear some big news. Try not looking at the channels that's always dropping immediately. Because all that shit is they're playing along the fiddle of deception, just like boxing does us all the time. You know, the mainstream media. They sit up here and play and play and play. We put in, look, extreme labor intensive hours creating content, reading, cataloging, recalling, regurgitating, rehearsing all the time. I'm just asking, take your motherfucking time and stop taking the breaking news serious until you allow about a week and a half, a couple of weeks to pass by so you can know if it's real or not. Seriously, because this is becoming like the boxing play, somewhat like the boxing playhouse, the YouTube psych ward. We getting all this delirium dumped in our lap on false information. I don't understand, as long as this sport been in existence, why Canelo Alvarez is able to continue to just walk in people's homes, reach in the fridge, cook his own motherfucking food, eat, leave his plate on the table, and walk the fuck out. Why isn't another boxer able to have this luxury? Y'all don't ask yourselves that? Like, do y'all get what I'm saying about this damn thumbnail I made? It was all about Jermall Charlo at first, right? Canelo, Charlo, Canelo, Charlo, Canelo. And all of a sudden this news breaks and he fades off into the background. Now everybody's talking about Canelo Bivol. You know damn well that people are not really jumping up and down for Bivol. Even though he's a solid fighter, 19 victories, he's solid. He has a title. But will we get the same results that as we actually, wasted our time in seeing Callum Smith? Or will Dimitri Bivol give us something that's just a little bit more suspenseful, so to speak, entertaining or competitive? Because we thought Callum Smith would be the dude. He was tall, rangy, all that. He didn't use any of it. It's almost like he left his entire skill set in the cart. I'm just going to leave that right there. I'm not going to get everything right. I'm just going to wait. I just got to see when I'm getting paid next. Just chill. He left his entire skill set in the cart. This is some unbelievable bullshit, y'all. For real, this is just unbelievable bullshit. Each and every week, we get something different. And then the next week, we'll get something that we think is the same as what we just heard. And then let it play out. They come and slam us with a double claw hammer. You fool. You fool. You actually thought that shit was going to happen. We're not going to give Charlo a shot right now. Come on, man. You serious? We're not going to give Jermall Charlo a shot right now. And the black fight fans should be very, 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 very concerned. Because as much as we hear lives all the time and we have this movement to support black fighters on YouTube, right? It's only so many black fighters that's considered the elite. If you take away the welterweight division, then what we have? If we take away popular L. Spence, what do we have? If we take away Terrence Bud Crawford, no one's talking about Spence. Because I'm going to tell you like this. If Bud Crawford leaves and go away, then the conversation for Spence is going to be like, man, damn. Almost like Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua situation. But this is much more reputable in a sense because people have been talking about this potential fight forever and a day. So like with all the content that you've read on YouTube, we're still not even anywhere close for this fight playing out. But to make my point is, black fight fans should be concerned about what Canelo has going on because, like I mentioned to you all before, they're grooming the next, and then it's not going to be a black fighter. They're grooming the next cash cow to take over boxing. Seriously. I was over there talking to Showtime earlier, right? And the conversation was, when is it going to get to a point where there's a productive union with the black fighters in the sport in order to raise their, appraisal of Wall Street in the sport, that they can start as a collective group, start getting paid handsomely. You know what I'm saying? People start talking about how much, their purses are and everything. Right now, we have the welterweight division. You exclude those two brothers, Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence. It gets real bleak, extremely bleak when it comes to fighters that you could say, okay, they popular enough to start making the big dollars. But neither Terrence Crawford or Errol Spence will be able to make that Canelo money. Even if they fight one another, they won't be able to make that Canelo Alvarez money. And I'm like, why? So at this point in time, who's going to be the next? I told you before, Teofimo Lopez. He's getting all these sponsorships and everything. He's moving to 140. Yeah, he took a loss. But guess what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if he took a loss because they're going to continue to put him in there and build him up. Mark my word on that. These fighters, especially the black fighters, need to start seeking sponsorship that matters. You have to start talking to the fans outside of just, okay, well, we're about to go on a Zoom call and we're going to have a Zoom call with so-and-so, this, that. You got to start putting yourself out there and communicating. There are some black fighters that do it, but, we have to do things different. We have to basically open ourselves up and have more access to the fans. Canelo, he doesn't have to do that. He's not going to open up himself because the Mexican fans love him. So he rarely have to say damn near anything. He's already established. You know what? Him slapping Caleb Plant with a two-piece only added to his fan base. I'm serious, y'all. Him slapping Caleb Plant with a two-piece, a counter two-piece, it only added to his fan base that he a bad mofo. Just, to some people. Nobody's thinking about him popping dirty. They just want to give him all the credit that's the cash cow right now. But look, I got to switch it over, right, and talk about the Charlos. I guess skills doesn't get you in the door to pay those type of bills when it comes to Canelo, huh? Because you are the same one that was out here clowning around, taking shots at the biggest black name in the sport, Deontay Wilder. And now look at you. Canelo faded your ass off into the shadows. He's about to fight somebody else. And like I said before, we really don't know what the plan process is for Canelo Alvarez and Charlo. But right now, they fade the black, man. They fade them back into the shadows until whenever they get back around to him. So now, what is going on with Charlo? What is Jermall Charlo going to do? We was talking about over there at Showtime, it'd be good for him to goddamn think about Demetrius Andrade. Demetrius Andrade would be a good squabble. I mean, this has been going, this grudge that Charlo's been having, it's so stale and old, man. Real talk. They need to damn put that shit to bed and say, let's do business, man. Me and you. Let's do business. And then, right now I'm saying, okay, regardless of what his plan is, he can still face Jermall Charlo if he chooses to. Jermall Charlo don't have a fight, man. Canelo faded the black into the shadows, and he's gonna go over there and face Dimitri Bivol. That tells me that he just feel like he has more to offer than facing the Charlo moving up with no title. You know what I'm saying? At least he's attempting to go pick up another championship at a division where he fought already. You know what I'm saying? He's been up there already. So we all seen what happened to Sergey Kovalev. Now it's Dimitri Bivol time. I haven't heard a Dun Dot on deck. What's good, man? He said we know every channel holds Canelo up to the most highest standard, but Triple G versus Canelo was inevitable. I haven't heard anybody on earth ever utter the words out their mouth. I want to see Canelo Triple G3. And speaking on that, Andrew, do the fight fans really need to speak on this fight for it to happen? No, because it's this weird, strange connection with Canelo and Triple G. It's weird. It's almost like a behind the scenes BFF type of shit. Like, why would you come back and scoop up grandpa? This is your step grandpa. Why would you return and trace your steps back to a fighter that you clearly beat in a rematch to a trilogy? See, that's the bullshit I don't get about boxing, man. It seems like it should be improving every week that we tune in, but yet and still we getting the same residue over and over again. And then look, I don't want to sit on here and seem like I'm irritable. But yeah, you might definitely hear the concern in my voice that for a person who read articles and shit like that, I'm thinking it's nothing out here that I can read about boxing that I can say for a certain this shit is true right here. Because I just feel like wasting my time reading certain articles is never going to happen. Even with a big name like Canelo, I know the publicists, the editors, the reporters, whoever they are, when they get this information, I'm damn sure they knew all along that Canelo Alvarez was not fighting Charlo. I call it the Texas bluff. We know damn well, I knew for certain that those individuals knew damn well Canelo was not fighting Charlo. So this is what we need to do, right? We need to improve our communication and find us some more reliable sources than just hearing this shit pop up on damn Google or online in the algorithm and then create a thumbnail. Because you know what? It makes us look like we just out here on the playground, just running around like little kids, trying to find something to do. Anything for entertainment. Let me climb that tree right there. Instead of me sliding down the slide board, let me jump off that motherfucker. Let me see how far I can make it. Can I jump off this mug? Without breaking my kneecap? Let me get on the swing. Not any old swing. Let me swing this shit back and forth and then try to jump off and do a backwards flip or something. We on the playground just trying to invent activities to interest us when it comes to this boxing shit, bro. I'm not trying to discourage y'all from tuning in to YTC, but them motherfuckers knew damn well that Canelo was not fighting Jermall Charlo, y'all. Right or wrong? They knew damn well that he wasn't fighting. And we've been talking, and they come up with somebody that's a different race and different division altogether. I know Charlo was talking about moving up, but I'm just saying, he's at 60 right now. It's not like the opponent that he may be facing next is going to be somewhere that was, let's say Triple G, since he's still at 60. It's not like it's 60. It's Triple G at middleweight right now. But this is a whole different division. He's talking about fighting 175. So let's do the timeline, y'all. It was Makabu before Makabu went in there and looked bad. So they say, nope, you want to leave that ink spot alone. Don't wear a suit to the party like that. So Makabu's out the picture for now. Then we get Jermall Charlo. People saying, oh yeah, Maul gonna get his shot. People start giving, predictions on what Maul gonna do and all this other shit. Boom, that's out the question. Now we get not only Bivol, but they attached to it a Gennady Golovkin, Canelo Alvarez 3. Like Andrew said, nobody in their right motherfucking mind has been sitting around drinking, chilling, waiting for boxing to come on and say, you know what? Man, they're going to go through all the credits and shit. What you think about that Canelo and Triple G shit, man, that trilogy? I know, man, come on, man, talk to me. What you think about that? Nobody's doing this shit. Nobody. Nobody was calling for Triple G except AARP. Nobody was calling for him. Nobody. All of a sudden, that weird a culmination comes into play that they're 3 after Canelo potentially may face a Dimitri Bivol. Damn. That shit is wild, bro. That shit is wild. That is absolutely wild. Noel on deck, man. I see you. What's good with you, big dog? Charlo should fight other big names. I agree, Noel, man. Hey, bro. I agree with you. I agree. And we've been talking about this period, right? On how these brothers up here chasing the Hispanic fighter. Like, we're some of the most talented fighters in the sport. But now, like I said on my live, I said, why are y'all chasing Canelo, though? I even said this back in the day about Devin Haney. I said, y'all chasing Teofimo Lopez. That's what, my pupil was telling me. Why aren't people chasing you? The only brother that's being chased right now is Terrence Crawford. Deontay Wilder was being chased because he allowed, Tyson Fury to be a part of his history. And he was a top heavyweight. But really nobody else is doing what he was doing in the trilogy like that with a top name in the same division. But right now, the only person that's being chased is Terrence Crawford. So the only reason I'm bringing this up is that we should be entirely concerned, because I tell you, I go to these amateur fight cards. I see the damn amount of Hispanic fighters that's coming up through the ranks, that's grinding out on this amateur level. I see the amount of Hispanic referees. You know what I'm saying, the number of Hispanic referees to black referees in USA boxing, I think it's a lopsided number. But you have to understand, we few and far in between. Who we have at 175, who we have at cruiserweight. There's some upcoming names. I get it, bro. I'm not excluding some top names that's in these divisions. I'm not excluding that. But I'm talking about top tier names that we know that's on en route to face top tier competition. We don't have it. We don't have it at 40. They haven't got their shot yet. We know some heavy hitters, some big dogs down at 40. We don't have it at 35. That shit is in shambles right now. 30. We don't know how this shit gonna play out. We have the lone emperor, Shakur Stevenson, and then we have potentially Chris Colbert and Roger Gutierrez fighting for the WBA. That is what it is, bro. 26 has just been shaken up. The lone wolf, Mr. Gary Russell Jr., loses his title after being the longest reigning champion of his era. That's done. The reign is over. We don't know what he's doing next. And then if we drop down even further to 122, we got Cool Boy, and he's waiting to see if the Japanese cat will fight him for the dang undisputed or whatever. So he's a unified champion. He's doing well. But you go further down, what's going on with bantamweight? We have WBC Nonito Donaire, then we have Monster Inoue, and then we have John Casimiro. Where the brothers at? There's no need for me to go in the super fly and fly. Come on. We don't have no brothers down there, shouty. It's no need for me to even mention it. We got Dylan Price. Come on, man. I know the D boy down, but I'm talking about as far as on deck for a title shot. I'll take Dylan Price. They working, grooving. They independent right now. They was signed to Mayweather promotion, but he's not in front. He's not a front runner right now. Canelo is a front runner for boxing. If Canelo said he wanted to drop down to welterweight to fight whoever was undisputed, if he can make the weight, they will make that fight happen and then put stipulations in there to benefit Canelo. Real talk. They'll put some shit in the clause. Yeah, Canelo was dropped down to 47 to face Terrence Crawford. But Terrence cannot rehydrate past 148. But Canelo can rehydrate up to 160. They put their hands up in the air, palms forward. Don't look at me. I ain't the bad guy. That's just in the clause. Terrence signed it. You know what I'm saying? They'll have some bullshit like that. The gloves will be all different. You know how Canelo loved putting clauses in there. It'll be some crazy shit, dog. They probably say Terrence can't wear regular boxing shoes. He have to put a pair of Asics on for this fight. They just be coming up with some bullshit, dog. Charlie versus Andrade or other champs at 160. Look, it stops right there, Noel. Triple G doesn't want to fight him. Demetrius Andrade, he's been on the shelf of you know, like my boy Showtime said. He said grudge holders. You know, the Charlo has been grudge holders, dog. So when is he gonna get his permission slip to not be on the list of grudge holding? They mad because he changed up at the last minute, wanted more money of a fight that was supposed to take place damn near 10 years ago. It's petty, it's pathetic, and it makes us look bad. Now Triple G won the first one. people still think, look, people say Triple G won. Okay, let's say that Triple G won on first one. We know what happened in the second one. But as far as our interest, right? Do we really want to see Triple G Canelo, being that once again, I need to use, hold on for a second. I just need to, use my resources that's provided to me as much as I want to. So when you pull up Triple G's box rec, of course. So let me even go further. Hold up. No. So let me share screen because I definitely have time for my for those of you that's tuned in, my audience. Appreciate you being tuned in, and please hit the like button for me. I shouldn't have to ask that, but I hear other people just look. I hear other people reprimanding their audience. Hit the like button now, or else we're not moving forward. I'm sick of this. Hit the like button. I mean, I don't feel I should be, talking to grown ass men that have families and women, that have families and demanding they hit the like button. You know what I'm saying? But check out this with Gennady Golovkin. This is why it doesn't make sense to me. All right. This is Wiki. I just want you to see one thing on Wiki. Look at this right here. He was born April 8th, 1982. He is currently 39 years old. Now, the special part about this Wiki exclusive is that Gennady Golovkin will be turning 40 years old this year, y'all. At the current time, Canelo Alvarez is 31. A significant age difference. And also, we have to be very, very attentive to boxing years. You know how they always talk about how dogs in boxing years, they this, that, and the other. We have to be very attentive that Gennady Golovkin has boxing years on him. So being he's turning 40 the 8th of April this year, then we have to add on, in Gennady's world, we have to add on about 8 more years in boxing. So he'll be turning 48 years old this April. So Canelo will be fighting a 48-year-old Gennady. I'm just saying, dog. I'm just saying, in boxing years, man. Come on, bro. All these fighters that had all these amateur fights and all this other shit, man, those are boxing years. That is tread, just like Dan Lomachenko. Lomachenko has boxing years tread on his body. You only have one physical frame. That anatomy is functioned by a brain and a heart. Until they're able to start cutting off heads and doing head transplants or brain transplants to the point it's on a regular basis, finding somehow, some way to basically perform twitch fiber surgeries, going out here removing freaking ligaments and tendons from animals, cheetahs that can run, and placing them in humans and being able to get proper blood supply and all that other shit. We are average, goddammit. So therefore, our body's going to continue to degrade in this full contact sport of boxing to the point where some people are going to die out quicker than others. And I really think Gennady Golovkin, regardless if he's looking across the ring at Triple G at his age, he's going to be able to do anything about it. I don't see it, bro. I don't see Gennady Golovkin doing anything about it if it's Canelo. I don't see it, man. At 48 years old this year, I don't see it. So moving on to that, man, I can't give this cat too much over here. You know what I'm saying? I can't give him too much shine. Fuck that. The old Texas Shuffle, for real. That Texas Shuffle. Look, I know the clubs was in there shuffling and everything when they heard Jermall Charlo potentially facing Canelo. I knew they was happy, but they quickly put those boots back on the shelf. Man, god damn it! Who's this Bivol guy? Chinko took whatever Golovkin had left out of his tanks. He did, man. It was a damn good fight with Sergey Chinko. Absolutely. He got robbed. Why does Errol Spence get the heavy lifting excuse, but Canelo can't? Because they're trying their best, they're trying their best to come up with, all the dressings and fixings as to why this meal in boxing served yet. They've been in the preparation stages forever and a fucking day, y'all. We still ain't been able to eat off this fight. We still can't plan a fight party. They've been dressing this shit up with every type of goddamn shit you can imagine, every season possible, and we ain't no closer to the fight. We don't know if he's gonna step in there with Udenis Ugas or not. But when it comes down to it, Canelo is making this shit look extremely easy. And when I say easy, he has the support of Mauricio Suleiman. He has the support of a lot of people that look at him as royalty right now. Boxing royalty, dog. When Canelo shows up and he's walking, they look at him as boxing royalty, bro. They kind of look at Canelo Alvarez like they do Mike Tyson when they see him. I know people, what? You should compare. I'm not comparing him to Mike Tyson. I'm saying when people see Mike Tyson, he don't have all that security around him. And you're like, damn, there go Iron Mike. That's a crazy motherfucker. That's a killer. His highlight reels, I love watching. You know, people say that. Now, for Canelo, it's a bit different because he really doesn't have fights out there that you really want to tune back into, except if you watching him getting his ass beat by Floyd, or the two fights he had with Triple G. Unless you want to see Erislandy Laura get robbed. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's the fights out there that you just won't tune into with Canelo consistently. They're not there. They don't exist. He has some pockets of fights that was good, but people look at it like, no, he shouldn't have won that fight. It's some people tell you he should have 3 losses on his record already. And just like was mentioned earlier, somebody said they felt that he lost the Triple G fight in the first one. So let's just take the Triple G fight. You know what I'm saying? We can take the Floyd fight, of course. That was definitive. And then we can play around with the Erislandy Laura or another fight. I mean, but really, when it comes down to a collective group of fights, like we look for Roy Jones Jr., Mike Tyson, shit like that, you can't find it with Canelo Alvarez. But somehow, some way, he's special enough that he's been able to break through and find a different way with his Mexican fan base to assume that stature that he has to this day, and that is boxing royalty. I know my boy Dion. I know I know he hates him. I know he don't give a fuck about Canelo. I get it. Real talk. I understand what my man is talking about. But when it comes down to the reality of what we see out here in public, Canelo Alvarez is boxing royalty. The fuck you want to do? Why is he the only one? You know that the YTC do more talking about Errol Spence and Bud Crawford than the money they making. It's not making them any more money. When Canelo come across the motherfucker, you know, he just walking by and shit. Everybody got their phones out and shit. That's Canelo Alvarez right there. Wow, okay. That's him. That's how they be treating him. Canelo. Can I get a picture? Canelo. But you know what I hate the most though? Is seeing my people, some fighters that has belts chasing Canelo Alvarez at this era. That's what I don't like. How did Danny Jacobs get the fight? I'm not saying the fight was absolutely in the dumps, but anyway, oh my God. I just don't like. I like what Demetrius Andrade did at the presser, because sometimes you got to jump outside the box, right? But it's just hard to someone like Canelo to take him serious after seeing him in the pirate suit. It's just hard for him not to crack a smile and say, this guy right here, he was in the pirate suit, right? Okay, patty. That's Canelo, dog. He's like, man, I can't take this guy serious. The way he was dressing over there, I can't take him serious. And then he came seen to get a fight to build up his momentum to sway the boxing fans to say, we want to see Andrade versus Canelo. He's fighting crappy fights, dog. And then You know, they asked Errol Spence the question, who is the pound for pound number one? Of course, deep down in his heart of hearts, he's not going to see Terrence Crawford. It don't matter what skin color they are. There's no union there. He said, Canelo. Yeah, you said Canelo because you want that Canelo fight. Look, Errol Spence in his heart of he can get the Errol Spence fight, just like a lot of people. The only person I've seen get a Canelo Alvarez fight after talking shit about him is Gennady Golovkin. Gennady was adamant about talking shit about Canelo when he popped positive, but it didn't make a difference because when they suspended him and retroed it back, it still put him in a normal time frame to step back in the ring with Gennady. Press conference was garbage. They wouldn't even be in the same room with each other. They didn't say shit, but yet the fight turned out to be good. Daniel Ortega on deck. What's good? Keep up the good work. I'm from Providence, Rhode Island, USA. If you can say hi to me and my son, Leandro, I appreciate it. Shout out to Daniel Ortega and his son, Leandro, if I'm saying it correctly. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to that La Familia. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate you pulling up, bro. And make sure you subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Continue to support WCS Media. Andrew Charles said Golovkin could barely breathe in his corner after 11th against Chinko. I was impressed he got up and finished the fight. Time for him to retire. He has something, man. There's something dynamic about Gennady that allows him to still be able to be mentioned in the same breath as Canelo Alvarez. That's real talk. The second time Triple G looked old though. Have y'all came up with a reason as to why Canelo is able to move as he's able to move and groove like that? Have y'all figured it out yet? Like with all the fighters that's in the sport of boxing, have you figured out why there's only one cash cow that's able to make the amount of money that he is, regardless of who he fights? He can go to court, win, leave, come back. Does anybody have a suitable answer for me? I'm all about being educated, especially by those who tune in to WCS Media. I'm all about education, man. Provide me some type of understanding as to how we can have one single fighter move as he please, structure a contract as he please, drain money from a promotion at as he please. I don't get it, bro. 30-year was going to fight a 30-year was going to fight a 42-year-old Manny Pacquiao coming off a 2-year layoff. I'm just saying. But peep this out though. You ready? We're not searching for that 30-year-old and 42-year-old. We wasn't calling for that fight. They don't have any history. They don't have any history. It doesn't matter. Look, my point of reference to that point is not the fact that they're actually fighting because of the age. I'm saying, what interest is it if we already seen them lace up twice? Why are you gonna come back for a trilogy and the man is already old? Like, doesn't the trilogy look? I'm gonna tell you who did it perfectly. Wilder Fury. Seriously, that's how you build up a trilogy. Were they first fight not a draw? Supposedly, you know what I'm saying? Was it not a draw? What happened in the rematch? Boom, Tyson Fury won. What happened in the rematch? Canelo won. Now the trilogy comes on. No one has the desire to talk about this shit like they was talking about Fury Wilder. That's my point I'm trying to make. The trilogy has to be the culminating ultimate moment. That shit have to be a climax, y'all. We're not getting no climax with this shit. It's just conversational piece. We're not getting any type of climax talking about Canelo Alvarez and Triple G. But we did with Wilder Fury. That's all I'm trying to say. I know I mentioned age, but I'm saying more so to the point where he's gotten so much older. I mean, I'm talking about, damn, what are we looking for in this next fight? Canelo's up here stopping people. What has Triple G been doing? Taking punches? I mean, he can take a punch, but he hasn't looked that spectacular, man, against supposedly below average competition or equal competition to himself. He hasn't really looked that exciting. Like I said, Spence fighting Pacquiao. Look at it this way, man. They didn't have a history together. None of that shit. Pacquiao didn't have a belt. It's that boxing bullshit. I thought anybody who watched my live, I really believed that they was going to reinstate Manny Pacquiao after putting him on recess for once again some nonsense. Like, per the recess, okay, a fighter must have an injury that prohibits them or prevents them from defending the title or whatever. Or it has to be something outside the scope or whatever. It wasn't nothing outside the scope for Manny Pacquiao. He was in recess probably because he had to get his B12, B12 shots and get his shit back up. You know what I'm saying? We really don't know why he was out as long as he was. But when he was coming back to fight Spence, it didn't fucking matter. That's not even the same scenario as Triple G. Because you think Spencer was going to go in there and allow Pacquiao to defeat him just so they can go back in for a rematch and get a bigger paycheck? But while I'm telling you that like it's unbelievable, it's a big possibility that shit can happen for desperation. According to what the numbers would have did with Errol Spence and Manny Pacquiao and everything else, it could have played out like my scenario that I gave about Spence and Charlo. It could have very well played out that way, y'all. Errol Spence let Pacquiao get the belts, and then they have a rematch. They give Pacquiao opportunity to put some more badges to his chest plate, and then go back, have it again in Manila. You know what I'm saying? Thriller in Manila for a rematch, pick up another bag. Boxing desperate right now. Anything possibly can happen. Triple G and the pros didn't take punishment. Listen, everybody take punishment differently. How many I put it up right here. This is what I'm trying to get done, daughter. Golovkin had approximately 350 amateur fights. Once again, I just don't be talking out my head, man. Like I'm talking about the treadwear that's on one person's body. He had about 350 amateur fights, bro. That's tread heading into these professional ranks. What are you looking at Vasil Lomachenko? All the amateur fights he had. He's not sitting up here knocking out elite competition that's undefeated. That's tread wear on the physical anatomy, bro. It don't matter what he didn't take punishment in the profession. Combine the professionals and the amateurs together, that is the same body. Fight camp, training, fight camp, training, sparring, fights, sparring. Man, over and over again, that's wear and tear on your body, dog. You have one brain. You have one brain, dog. King Mitch on deck, man. What's good with it? The Eastern European and Central Asian former Soviet country market must be more profitable than the American market. Man, they say this is where the nest and egg is for the monetary benefit of sports, the U.S. But on occasion, we can dip over to foreign countries and pick up some money. You know, I don't want to mention this, but Floyd Mayweather, he did go over there to Japan to fight Tenshin Nashikawa. Okay. He did return back to the US and scooped up some money and then pay his full bill fighting Logan Paul. Now he's about to go over to Dubai and fight a young kid in an exhibition bout called Money Kicks. A YouTuber who's saying he's trying to become rich on his own, but his dad is filthy freaking rich. But he knows all the celebrities and everything else. And Floyd Mayweather's about to go over there and scoop up a huge ass payday to dance around over in Dubai. Moving on. What do you think of Canelo team as a whole? Pantera, Valdez, always testing positive would be a surprise if Ryan pop positive. I've said this before that allegedly, you always got to push it in. Reynoso is grooming a fight camp of entitlement, and he truly understands what he can get away with. For real, I just get that feeling from Reynoso. Like you had two fighters in your camp, two well-known fighters in your camp that test positive, right? And you don't think people are questioning what your method is on how to produce these top names? You think people are not setting up, avenues for if he is over there juicing his fighters for them to pretty much come off that shit correctly and give them fair warning. Hey, this is we come on here to check, make sure you're good. This, and this. I mean, somehow, some way, man, he has some benefits to get away with shit. Dirty is dirty. Drug cheats are drug cheats. Cheats. And what Oscar Valdez was able to get away with recently is absolutely distasteful, especially to a big name like Eddie Reynoso. Just to see Mauricio Suleiman come to the aid of Team Valdez, it was just a damn slap in the face to everybody who sit up here and respect the sport. You know what I'm saying? That don't take drugs. But Oscar Valdez popped dirty. Canelo popped dirty. Ryan Garcia's, coming back to fight Emmanuel Tago. And let's hope he don't pop dirty. Because you know what Ryan Garcia gonna do, right? I don't know. No saying I don't know. I just take supplement. I don't know. Everything is just coming so hard on me. My mental illness. Ryan Ryan's gonna start playing the victim. I'm just trying to do so much in Hollywood. It's just so stressful. Maybe I took a ibuprofen. All right. That's all I did. Please. You know what I'm saying? He's a damn sucker, man. Ryan Garcia's a sucker. He'll never look, Ryan Garcia will never be sucker free. But once again, who am I to sit up here and tell you what I said earlier on a previous live? I said, God damn it, if the black fight fans shouldn't be worried. Ryan Garcia has absolutely did nothing to warrant justification for him skipping the line at lightweight, right? If indeed he's able to come back and fight Tago and gets the shot, if Ryan Garcia gets the motherfucking shot, dog, with Cambozo, these YouTube channels need to chill. They need to really sit back and have a meeting amongst themselves and say, you know, we're working too hard for nothing. Because none of this shit is fucking real. You actually think the house fell on top of the witch in Oz? You actually think Toto wasn't running off set and eating and coming back a little brick road and say, okay, I'm good. I took a shit over there. I ate. I'm good. It's a lot of stuff that's not real about boxing. If Ryan Garcia is able to come back of doing nothing except claiming mental illness, defeat Tago, gets a shot with Cambosis, win the motherfucking titles, look, YTC needs to sit back and stop taking things so seriously. Stop arguing with people. Stop ruining your goddamn blood pressure, because boxing is becoming one of the biggest facades in combat sports. Real talk. It's too many lies. It's too many individuals that's shakers and movers in boxing that's really fucking up the sport. And then they play around with us. They don't give a fuck about what we think. That was a good question, though. Mitch say Ryan was going to pop dirty. That's why he took his mental health sabbatical. For real. He broke the clibular rules. Man, you ain't lying, Mitch, man. Ryan Garcia goddamn scooted his ass right up out of here, didn't he? Put it out there immediately. I got mental illness. And then we see him on the beach with a female. Getting a nut is not going to improve your mental illness, goddamn it. It'll take it away for a little bit, according to who she is, but it's not going to do much. But he can get away with that because they consider him the goofy boxer. You know, the way he was knocked down by Luke Campbell in post-fight, he's like, yeah, said dude, man, I can't believe he knocked me down. You know, wow. I got knocked down. I didn't see that. Of course you didn't see it coming. Of course you didn't. Because your chin is all the way up in the motherfucking clouds like a kite. To me, Ryan doesn't look like he's on the sauce. But let's keep an eye on it. I don't know, man. You know, Oscar Valdez don't look like he's on the sauce, Andrew. Real talk. Oscar Valdez don't look like he on the sauce. He doesn't look anything like you want to know who I thought that was on the sauce. I mean, the entire time I say, man, this dude has to be on something. That was TJ Dillashaw before he popped dirty. This dude was super duper shredded. You can see every muscle fiber. Come to find out he was dirty. That was two-time bantamweight champion mixed martial arts in the UFC. I'm just cross-threading because not everybody that's doping looks like it. There's a replay value in the Khan Kodo Kirkland Billy Joe Saunders plant. Just saying, I can name a couple of more. Man, Don just want to sit up here and bring up my man Kirkland, dog. Why? That fight was never competitive. That's not a replay. Look, I don't get fast. I'm not fascinated over watching replays in a fight that was never competitive from the opening bell. We know he was going to blast through Kirkland. We knew Kirkland wasn't going to go in there and give us that special Angulo sauce that he had. Who knocked out Amir Khan first, Don Dollar? Just drop that on me right quick. Who knocked him out first? He has 5 losses. Who stopped him first? That question is for you, Don. Appreciate the input, everybody. Hit the like button. Who knocked him out first? Prescott, right? Who knocked him out second there, Don? Danny Garcia, right? So you're trying to tell me that you happy-go-lucky to watch Canelo Alvarez and Amir Khan knowing that Prescott and Garcia had already cut his lights out. I just don't get off. I just don't find no entertainment value in that. Real, he had been knocked out. He came in there already chinny. Mitch say Triple G only got the rematch because the first fight was a draw. Triple G popping his shit didn't matter, but he was popping his shit about that dirty test though. That's what I was saying. I don't think he was in here yet, right? I said the only person that really has gotten that opportunity that Canelo would make consideration for, special consideration, was Triple G because he really dogged Canelo out for popping dirty. Really, he did. So when the suspension came down and it was only a 6-month and they made it retroactive back to what, February, I believe. Yeah, he was mad, but the fight made sense because they had a draw and they did pretty decent numbers. So Canelo and everybody else that was a part of that said, man, y'all go back in there for a rematch. Let's go. And that's when Abel Sanchez was talking about, give us what we want. We want Mexican style. God damn it, Canelo sure enough gave him Mexican style, didn't he? Didn't he? Now you want to talk about having some giggles? That shit was hilarious, dog. Abel Sanchez, don't run, give us Mexican style. Canelo said, okay, senor. Senor, muchas gracias, senor. I give you Mexican style. That shit was crazy, man. And, and, and how crazy my imagination is, right? When I saw, when I got the word that Triple G has signed, a new contract, man, he fired Abel Sanchez. That shit was so hilarious, man. Man, that shit was hilarious. Canelo was built up properly by a great matchmaker. We also have to mention back in the day, fighters would have citywide press conferences. Now fights gets announced on Twitter. True words. You're right. Whole different system, though. Boxing is a system, Don. You make a good point. Boxing is a system. And with that system, what? We improve the equipment that we use to promote and build up the sport. Promotion is everything. There was a point in time that Floyd Mayweather was on HBO, wasn't he? HBO is no longer with us, so times change. So of course, we hear all these announcements that's going on Twitter, but yet the fighters and their camp may already know when the fight is happening, but yet they can't say shit about it. That's bogus, man. I can't believe Don brought up my boy James Kirkland. Damn. I thought we was brothers, man. You want to bring up Kirkland getting knocked out? I thought he died. I get you, WCS, but my point bringing up Manny, PBC was hoping a win over the great Manny would propel Spence to superstardom, meaning the fight was about business, not the best fighting the best. True words, man. But you know how text is. Like, it doesn't come with a voicemail. You know what I'm saying? You know, you decide to type it. So I didn't clearly get where you was going with it, but I understand that makes a lot of sense. And that's just crazy once again how desperate boxing would be if, in, you know, to caveat off what you said, that Spence will have to face an old antiquated Manny Pacquiao to change levels. That just doesn't make any sense, man. Come on, man. Just because what he did with Keith, come on. Manny versus Spence was a big fight. It would have been big, dog. But the Texas bluff came down, just like Charlo. They look, listen to me. They did it to Spence. He had an eye injury. They turned around and did it to Jermall Charlo just now, Texas bluff. And then they fluff. It's a Texas fluff when it comes to Jermall Charlo, because some people thought he lost that fight against Brian Castano. Now he gets to go in there and redeem himself if he's able to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, one thing I would give Jermall Charlo is that when he come in for rematches, you know, based off the one he had, he was able to go in there and get that shit done. And he had the eye of the motherfucking tiger. You know what I'm saying? He was zoned in and he was on a mission. Kill, kill, kill. Switch was on kill, kill, kill with Tony Harrison. But once again, breaking that shit down, Brian Castano isn't Tony Harrison. Brian Castano has a different type of tenaciousness attached to him, dog. Brian Castano was willing to stand in there and trade. You know what I'm saying? In the rematch, damn, Tony Harrison was dropped in like the second round. Castano is different. So Charlo can't sit up there and walk down a fighter that he's not too worried about his power. He needs to be concerned about Brian Castano's power. Now, of course, this is going to say a lot about Derrick James, not to drop off topic, but this fight right here is going to say a lot about Derrick James, because we've seen Maul and Jermall go in there and fight Austin Trout, saying trying to take his head off. It's been said that Derrick James fighters don't be listening to him when they out there. I mean, they will, you know, Derrick James obviously listened to Charlo, because, I mean, that's where the money's at. Jermall Charlo is about to fight for Undisputed. But is he going to listen to his corner, though? Is he going to listen to his corner? Are they going to have the special juice in the corner with the Gatorade bottle? No, I didn't forget that. But Derrick James fighters, including Spence, it seems like they have a difficult time listening to their coach. This is gonna be a big test right here. You know what I'm saying? For Mel Charlo and Errol Spence, if he makes it to the damn arena, if he makes it to the parking lot to fight Ugas. If you think Spence versus Manny does more numbers than Canelo versus Triple G, you're dreaming at King Mitch. Right now, I would have to say Canelo Triple G does more numbers than Spence Manny. I know we can say countries all day long, but I'm saying people have true understanding that Manny Pacquiao is old. Spence, they don't know which part of him is going to show up against, they weren't sure which part of him was going to show up, because Manny Pacquiao is a quite different fighter than Danny Garcia. We know that to be true. We know that to be true. But Spence and Manny doesn't have a history like Canelo and Triple G. So definitely that will contribute to them doing bigger numbers than Spence versus Manny. That's my take on that. Manny versus Spence would have been an example of the best fighting the best. Two of the top 3 welterweights at the time. Have you you talking about the Manny coming off a hiatus? So my only thing, Mitch, is how are you gonna celebrate Manny coming off a hiatus and not celebrate Keith Thurman coming off a hiatus? I know there's distinct separation in their careers, but I'm saying, how can you celebrate Manny coming off a hiatus like he did? And that would be the best fighting the best. Like, was it Manny looked great because Manny was feeling a certain type of way and he was having a starlight moment? Because he sure enough didn't look that way against Yordenis Ugas. Or was it Keith Thurman who looked bad? Even though it went to a decision, which Manny looked better? You know what I'm saying? How can we sit up here and say it was the best fighting the best at the time because it's Manny Pacquiao? I mean, look how many losses Manny Pacquiao have. I mean, I know the whole scope, which is encompass his box rec, but I'm just saying, like, could we really say best fight the best? Because not too long before then, Keith Thurman, before he went on hiatus, was the unified champion. He was the motherfucking man. People was up here talking about, look, man down. Big fish keep on out. Keith Thurman, that was the topic of discussion on YouTube. Why Keith Thurman won't fight Errol Spence? He ducking, he dodging, he running. That's all we heard, dog. Every time Errol Spence got in front of the camera, he wanted to call out Keith Thurman. And Keith just played him off to the left. Yeah, when I saw that young boy in the gym, I say, you know, that boy, he gonna be good. He gonna be special. And that's just disrespectful, dog. Keith Thurman was disrespectful as shit. Free Hoover on deck, man. What it do? He said at WCS salute, man. Salute to you. Salute to you there, Free Hoover. Don say 42-year-old Manny is best fighting the best when you have Crawford and Ugas there at 147. If Triple G not one of the best at 160, is Triple G not one of the best? You know, looking at the company that he's in, he's holding a belt. Okay, how he is able to hold the IBF title after that last performance? Okay, I don't know. But is he still considered one of the best at 160? Yes. Because Triple G only has one loss to Canelo Alvarez. All right? So, looking at everybody else, you know, Yola Murata, I think him and Bezos is planning to come back from a space trip because no one's seen him, you know, on Earth down here. We don't know where the fuck he's been. He's supposed to fight there on Triple G. Somebody came down with COVID coming back into the stratosphere. You know what I'm saying? So what we have left, we have Jermall Charlo and we have Demetrius Andrade. And what's so fucked up about that equation is that really no one like Mauricio Suleiman, like he's not influencing anything with that fight. Like you have no influence, like you have no distinct influence for that fight. I mean, the YouTube is okay, but I'm saying it's nobody sitting up here saying, you know what? I think it's time. Because do we ever see them in the same proximity at the same time like Hurd? Now what would have been great if we would have seen Andrade walk up there to Jermall Charlo and do what Hurd did. See, they wouldn't have had that same energy they had with Hurd. Like he was all passive aggressive, Marl Charlo, when Hurd sit up there and say, "Man, get the fuck out of my way. I want your little motherfucking punk ass brother." See, Demetrius would have went up there. Then Mel would have came up. What you want, punk ass nigga? Let's beat his ass. They would have had different energy because they take Demetrius Andrade as a joke. They wouldn't have gave Andrade that same lackadaisical, lethargic energy that they would have gave Hurd. I mean Andrade. They would have been all powered up right off the rip. And see that should have happened. But we never see them in the same proximity, dog. We need to see Andrade pull up on Marl Charlo and say, "Hey, look, man, how long you gonna keep being a pussy? We need to fight." Now, them putting that on camera, that would have sparked some shit up. They would say, "Oh shit." You know why I say that? Because it takes me back to when, even though the fight didn't happen, it takes me back to Daniel Jacobs when he pulled up on Charlo. Everybody was talking about that fight. I mean that encounter. Everybody was fucking talking about it. Nothing happened. Two black fighters once again can't lock up. The only thing we have to go off of is what? An encounter in an encounter in the hallway. That's all we got. Period. Another example of my reflections. How many times did we see Hurd and Mel Charlo encounter and going off on one another and then fight? How many times, dog? Like, what's going on with these black encounters that don't produce results inside the ring, dog? Crawford Spence, same thing, dog. You ain't getting paid for this shit. We have too many encounters. Look at Gervonta Davis, Tevin Farmer. All the hype, never fought. Never fought. Never fought. Shout out to Captain Chaos in the building, man. What's good? What's going on with you there, Ed? Good to see you back out and about, man, in the YouTube Serengeti. Hoover says Canelo going back down to 164, the Triple G scrap. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. He's supposed to be meeting Triple G at 68. It would be a catch weight. He's supposed to be meeting Triple G at 68. In order for Triple G to get this bag, I will call it a slap in the face to Charlo if Triple G fights. I mean, if Canelo fights Triple G at the catch weight, that's between 60 and 68. Still, at that point in time, the only one that's not benefiting from that is Canelo. Because Canelo's been fighting 68, 75 at his leisure. He hasn't even decided to go back down to 60. So why would he accommodate Triple G to fight at a catch weight? Why? Unless they set it up like Sugar Ray did with Donnie Lennon, then we have some other shit to talk about. You know what I'm saying? If they set up the catch weight and you put both titles from both divisions on the line, that's different. That's different. But Triple G, do he truly want that IBF title from 60? Please. You know, I doubt they're not going to make that happen. They're not going to say, you know what, we're going to have a catch weight in between 60, 68. You know, come in, you know, we're going to make 65 the limit. The super middleweight titles are going to be on the line, and the middleweight titles the IBF middleweight title is going to be on the line. Y'all cool? All right, cool. No, that ain't going to fucking happen, dog. Captain Chaos say hit the like button. WCS the most credible in the game. Appreciate the support there, Chaos. Appreciate you pulled up to the lot, man. Pulled up in the live chat. You know what it is. Andrew said Ryan came out with his mental illness story last year, right? When Mental Health Awareness Month started. Coincidence? Man, see, y'all be paying attention. Y'all be paying attention. And then, also Andrew, when he came out with the mental illness, everybody just overlooked all the capping that he was doing. They just overlooked it. They just overlooked it, bro. I know people don't want to. Yeah, I know people have seen this several times, but y'all remember.
Tank, I'm going to say it in front of Mike and Jeremy. If you do not take this fight, your legacy is forever tainted. Nobody will ever remember your name. Nobody. The money's there. I know you love money, but money's there. If you don't take the fight next, your whole legacy forever is tainted if you don't take the next fight with me. Oh, my
God. God damn. God damn, Tank. I ain't never heard no shit like this.
Ooh, he's capping, capping, he's capping, 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 ooh, capping, ooh, he's capping, ooh, he's capping, ooh, capping, ooh, he's capping.
I have a potential huge, bigger fight than him, so I might pin him off for the side. I'm still gonna fight him, but I wouldn't not fight him unless it was even a bigger opportunity. But I cannot say anything right now, so I'm just gonna keep it at that.
Ooh, he's capping,
Y'all get the picture. I mean, damn, he's a capion, man. Ryan Garcia is number one on my Duck Masters Cap Coalition, pound for pound capping. He's the number one ducker. He is the number one pound for pound Duck Masters Coalition, Ryan Garcia. And Mike Tyson sit up here and was hyping this, bro. He should have said, listen, Ryan, you know how I am, right? I'm all about the serious shit when it comes down to it. But I don't believe you. But no, he sit up there and stroked his ego. You know what I'm saying? Stroked Ryan Garcia's ego, made him believe he was bigger than what he was. Man, for real, dog. That's what he did. Mitch say, at Don Dollar, WTF are you talking about? When did I say Pac versus Spence does more numbers than Canelo versus Triple G? I don't think I heard him say that. Anybody in their right mind know that shit ain't true. What's the difference between Spence versus Manny and Triple G versus Canelo, King Mitch? I guess he's asking you that question, so I'll let you answer that, Mitch. Prescott Danny. I'm just saying. He had already came in there chinny. So how would I go back and reflect on the fight like Canelo did something nobody else did? Somebody had already, been there, done that, got the t-shirt on the Amir Khan. That's all I'm saying. To be honest, most people on the YouTube don't even want to see Triple G versus Canelo. Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. Believe it or not, we're in a state of desperation. You know how you hear state of emergency? Just encompass that with state of desperation in boxing. It's a state of desperation over here, man. They put out false advertisement and deceive the consumers and the content creators just so we can go out here and put out extensive amount of hours upon hours upon hours on falsified information that's just leaked out for general purpose, just to do free promo. That's what we do on YouTube. We work to put out free promo for the fighters and also these promoters that don't provide us a residual income at all. It's no compensation, people. None whatsoever. It's no form you can fill out for reimbursement. They don't care. The most competitive scraps Canelo right now is Andrade and Bender, Roja, Benavidez. Yeah, but I try to, when I try to mention Benavidez, bro, it's every now and then because Canelo has just made it a point to say that's not a fighter he want to fight. He know the danger in that. He know that Benavidez is going to be the bigger fighter, and Benavidez is definitely not going to be a Callum Smith. We know that for a fact. Mitch say, Dundalda, there's a huge difference between Spence versus Manny and Triple G versus Canelo. If you think they're the same, then that's on you. Stop. So he probably said, stop saying his name with the shit or whatever. I don't know, man. 168 down. I agree at Free Hoover. Nobody cares, wants to see Triple G versus Canelo, but it seems like business move for Eddie Hearns. Boxing is always a business. But you're trying to tell me the only way you can do business is with an older fighter now? I mean, damn. Like, when was the last time that they fought? We talking about goddamn, 2018 or something? Man, it's been a while since they fought. It's been a while, people. In reality, I don't know why Canelo does more numbers than guys on Fox. They have the best promotion, especially during NFL season. I'll tell you right now, the NFL fan base is different than combat sports. Real talk, you can't even compare the two. You can't compare MMA fans to boxing fans. You can't compare the two. They have ceremonial weigh-ins that's more turned up than boxing matches on fight night. Seriously. Ceremonial weigh-ins at the UFC has more intensity and crowd noise than a lot of boxing matches on fight night. Difference is Manny was coming back to fight Spence, unified champ. Thurman came back to fight Barrios after being knocked down 3 times and stopped versus a lightweight Tank. Man, these comparisons of people coming back, I think initially it went off Canelo fighting Triple G. And my whole point in making that back to fight Triple G is because Triple G, though they have a past and a history, he just haven't really shown excitement from being defeated, taking his first defeat against Canelo, and he's older, right? So then we transition over to the old, the elderly Manny Pacquiao, the elder statesman, right? He had no belt. So Errol Spence was just fighting him from what somebody said eloquently in earlier, that he was just fighting him to change levels in his career. He wanted what Yordenis Ugas ended up getting. But the only thing about it, it pretty much gave Yordenis Ugas a boost, especially heading into this fight with Spence. But for Spence, people would have looked at it like, oh my God, he defeated Manny Pacquiao. He is the minnow we thought he was. You know what I'm saying? They'll start hyping that shit up. He is. He's proven he's the minnow that we always knew. They would have act like he defeated a freaking younger Pacquiao. You know what I'm saying? They only had 2 losses. But Yordenis Ugas, being his star power, isn't where Errol Spence is at. Yes, he gained some more fans. Yes, his appraisal went up as a fighter, as a legitimate welterweight, beating Manny Pacquiao. But let's not get it twisted. You know what I'm saying? Let's not get it twisted. The equation was meant to highlight 2 top-tier fighters at one time at 60. that fought each other twice, and people tuned in to see it. Now, if they would have fought a little bit after that rematch, I think it would have did even more numbers. But now that we've had the opportunity to see Triple G fight, and it didn't really look all that interesting and entertaining, I don't know what the numbers are going to be like with Canelo in the ring. I don't know what the numbers are going to be like, bro. Jermall needs the money. Those Applebee tabs ain't cheap anymore. Damn, dog. They said them Applebee tabs ain't cheap anymore. So you saying they go there doing happy hour and get the 2 for 1? You know what I'm saying? The 2 for 1 for what, 20? The 2 for 20? That's what it's called, the 2 for 20. They still within budget, there, Hoover. They still within budget, dog. They get the 2 for 20. And then you got to tack on whatever else they got going on in there. I don't want to offend nobody. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to offend, talking about happy hour. Mitt say at comeback, if Thurman come back to fight Spence or Crawford, that would classify as the best fighting the best to me. That's a tough one right there. You know why I say it's 50-50 with that? Because Thurman was a unified, and the only defeat he has is the Manny Pacquiao, who was older, right? He haven't avenged that shit yet because Manny Pacquiao's retired. So when I say avenge, he hasn't had a rematch with Manny Pacquiao. So that leads us to his fight with Mario Barrios. Barrios coming up 40. It didn't work out well for him. Lopsided fight. So best fighting the best. We still can hold a little bit. But, man, people were sitting up here talking about, Keith. He fought Barrios. I mean, come on, man. The jury is still deliberating on Keith Thurman's return. Real talk. They're still deliberating. Let's be honest. They are deliberating. It's a hung jury right now, man. They don't know. Is Keith Thurman still considered the one time? He went from one time to sometime to no time. I don't know, bro. That's a damn good. That's a damn good question, man. What y'all think about that in the chat? Do y'all consider Thurman? I can't sit up here and go back on my word because he didn't fight anybody that was in the welterweight division on his return now. He just fought a guy who was moving up for the first time. And he saw something that Mikey Garcia couldn't get done. So he said, my take at it. I see. Boom, boom. The drums start playing and shit. That's all I'm saying. He didn't fight a big name in the division, dog. So I really can't put that jacket on him and say, well, Keith Thurman is for fighting the best. Yeah, he still has some value to it, but I don't know, man. I don't know. He keeps getting hurt to the body. Man, something's going on with that shit. Elasteca Barrios turned into PBC punching bag. The new Luis Collazo for PBC. Damn, Hoover going in. Damn, you better be careful about comparing them Latino fighters to each other in a bad way. But he has taken 2 losses back to back now. You got to take a soft touch there, Jesse Vargas. You know what I'm saying? You can't keep losing. You got to take a soft touch there, Jesse Vargas. You know what I'm saying? The Luis Collazos and Jesse Vargas and, well, I don't know what the fuck he got going on. But Mario is going to have to take some time off, chill. Get yourself together, bro. You got paid well. You can't get 3 in the red back to back like that. Hoover, that's definitely how it's looking for Barrios. However, I think if they move him correctly from here on out, he'll be okay. Couldn't pass on those 2 opportunities, though. Some guys never see PPV. I don't even have to caveat to that. I mean, that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? It makes sense because, I agree when he couldn't pass on those 2 opportunities. He couldn't. Dion back in the building and say Canelo's trash. Staying on code. Javier's on deck. He must be talking to y'all. Hey, can y'all respond to Javier? I'm not sure what he wants. He's not. He don't want anything from me. Thurman a tough out for anyone moving up to welterweight, especially after you just got stopped at super lightweight. I understand that, bro. You know, I understand. We're talking about two different fighters. All right. We're talking about him being stopped by arguably the heaviest hitter in boxing at this point in time, Gervonta Tank Davis. All right. And also, we all know how it plays a significant role with fighters who are struggling and having crazy weight cuts to sustain rehydration strength. So he might not felt as strong as he did to take that ass whooping. You know what I'm saying? At 40 that he took at 47. So he took the ass whooping at 40, moved up to 47, bro. And took another ass whooping, but he did not get stopped. I'm going to leave it right there. He said, was it hard for him to make weight at 40? He did not get stopped by Keith Thurman, who many considered when he was on, you know, on his shit. He had pretty decent power, man. Canelo does one thing I like for sure, and that's they act. I give him that. True words. But he still pop dirty. You know, Dion will tell you that. Ryan up there with his hair gelled up like Johnny Bravo with the bow tie and bedazzled pants off. Fuck out of here. Man, that's what they do, dog. Look, they're going to continue to give Ryan Garcia the goofy credit. Not everybody can get away with the goofy credit. For real. Like, not everybody can get away with Ryan Garcia's getting, you know, having a young face, having the Mikey Garcia and the damn Hugo Centeno gelled hairpiece, you know, gelled up and don't even move during the boxing match. You know what I'm saying? So, that's where he at. You know what I'm saying? Claimed mental illness. Everybody forgot about him getting his ass knocked down, stretched out against Luke Campbell. They forgot about his capping. He went from Gervonta to not fighting Devin Haney to goddamn about to face Manny Pacquiao on a big catch weight. That wasn't the truth. That was some bullshit. You know? People overlook that shit. If Ryan number one, Canelo number two. Oh, you talking about on your hate list or your hit list. WCS, is your opinion who is the biggest star on the zone? I guess you asking what's my opinion, who is the biggest star on the zone? Then Canelo just isn't he supposed to be close to a deal, man? Let's just say Canelo, dog. You know, you have Devin Haney that's over there. So you take away Canelo, I will have to say anyone that's attached to Eddie Hearn right now would be Devin Haney. Let's go a little deeper. It's definitely ain't Tevin Farmer. And you know, it ain't Katie Taylor. Male fighters. Oh, it's not Anthony Joshua. You know, I mean, they have very limited stars over there besides the one that's in the sky. That's it. But they're growing. Give it up. They're growing, though. They're making moves. They're growing. Eddie Hearn is the biggest star in the zone. Yeah, true. I was saying if Thurman had returned to fight Spence Crawford, it would be classified as the best fighting the best, in my opinion. But he didn't. He chose Barrios. Pac chose Spence. That's different. I mean, I can agree with you on that. But all I was saying is I myself, I couldn't put it in that form. and definitely declare that Keith Thurman was the best because he was coming back with nothing. Not coming back with nothing. He was sat on his ass by old ass Manny Pacquiao. So I do understand what you're saying that some people would still consider Keith Thurman as one of the best, being that he was unified at one point. I can understand that. But me, myself, looking at him being sat down by Manny and losing his title, eating ice cream and all this other shit that he had going on, taking a hiatus, the fight fans was totally unsure what Keith Thurman we was going to get. That's all. We was kind of unsure, bro. So to classify him as the best, I see where you're going because he was a former unified. I get it. I don't know, man. I do not know. Because people didn't consider Kell Brook was the best fighting the best. I mean, should we still take that same thought process and say it about Sean Porter? I mean, a lot of people was giving Sean Porter credit for stepping in there. I mean, I didn't hear people. I did. I ain't gonna say that. I take that back. People were saying it was the best fighting the best. They thought Sean Porter was, one of the best at welterweight before he got stopped by Terrence Bud Crawford. I get it. Yeah, but people, man, I gotta definitely bounce, man. Before I start talking about Sean Porter and Bud, and then I end up talking about him getting a shark tattooed on his body and shit, and how Bud Crawford is the fisherman anyway. So, hey, y'all been absolutely great, man. Real talk. Thanks for pulling up today, as always, dropping that educational content. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully you learned something. I learned something. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate the the input. Be sure to like the video on your way out. Share the content if you feel the need. You know what I'm saying? Tell somebody that knows somebody to come and subscribe to the channel. Because I'm really trying to get up to 10,000, man. I'm still at 8. I'm trying to get up to 9, 10. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what it is, man. Till next time, turn up and tune in to World Combat Sports. I'm out.